Falcons just wrapped up their second joint practice with the Miami Dolphins. So let's break down what we learned from what I think is more valuable than preseason football, if I'm being real with you guys, and what some takeaways are from the 2 days of the joint practices between Atlanta and Miami before that preseason game on Friday. Now, my first takeaway is the defense dominated day 2. Honestly, the defense did very well over both days of the joint practice. Tyreek Hill got his fair share of wins in the first day, but the second day, it was all about Atlanta's defense. At the end of the practice, they had a simulated 2-minute drill, Atlanta's first-string defense against Miami's first-string offense. Here's how it went down. Play number 1, Troy Anderson, pass breakup. Play number 2, D. Alford, pass breakup, nearly an interception. Play number 3, the safety Jalen Hawkins gets the interception done. So, you had 2 pass breakups and an INT in which just a very small sample size, but against the first-team offense for the Miami Dolphins, that feels like a pretty good day for Atlanta. Now, team reporter Tori McElhaney, she expanded on that, and here's what she had to say. Tracking the ball through the air, D. Alford nearly picked it off, the ball tipping off his hand before sailing out of bounds. On the next play, the Falcons did come up with an interception, only it wasn't Alford, it was Jalen Hawkins. The interception probably doesn't happen, though, without the collapse of the pocket, with Lorenzo Carter coming off the edge. So it's great to see that Lorenzo Carter and this front 5 is applying some pressure. In this secondary, it continues to be the talk of the town throughout training camp. It's a bummer that Jeff Okudah and Clark Phillips have gone down with injuries, but I think A.J. Terrell is poised for a return to the cemented top 10 status of the cornerback room across the league. And then you add in guys like Jessie Bates, who we really have not talked about throughout training camp so far, but Richie Grant, Micah Abernathy, the dude was just like a fourth liner out there today. He was causing problems. He was getting in opposing players' faces. He was stirring the pot. And everyone needs a little bit of an instigator, right? You don't want to go too far. You got to know where that line is and not go full-on Cortland Finnegan mode with Andre Johnson. But if you can have a C.J. Gardner-Johnson who's going to get in players' heads, well, I'm all for having that guy on my team. Now, question for everyone, though. 10 interceptions in 2023 for Atlanta. Are you going over or under? I picked 10 because last year this team had 10 interceptions, and that ranked towards the bottom of the league. I think over for sure. I'm hammering the over on 10 interceptions. But let me know if you are over or under for 10 INTs in 2023. Moving on to our second takeaway from the joint practice. The defense, I don't know if it's fantasy football good, but it's low-key, high-key good. I'm a fan of Atlanta's defense. I mean, we talked at length throughout the offseason of trying to get a unique Ngakoue and some clear-cut number 1 edge rusher. And maybe when the regular season rolls around, we'll look back and wish that Terry Fontenot did. But it's just training camp. But you can see that Fontenot's investments in the defense are paying off right now, right? He has made it a priority throughout throughout the free agency market, in the draft as well. He made a lot of signings on this side of the football, and it is starting to pay off. The defense has definitely been the bigger side of the story between the offense and the defense because they added a lot of new faces. Calais Campbell, he returned from the PUP list. He was not a full go in the team drills today, but it's good to see the veteran back on the field. David Onyemata, he has been causing some issues for the opposing offenses so far. So Onyemata definitely has looked the part thus far. Bud Dupree, and you bring back Lorenzo Carter. This defense, it's going to be better. I'm going to say that much. And the bar's not too high compared to last season. I mean, you can see on the left-hand side of your screen where Atlanta's defense ranked. Points allowed, 23rd. This is just kind of throwing shit at the wall here. But if I had to project how Atlanta fares in 2023, I think you see improvements across the board. Nothing too earth-shattering. That might happen in 2024 if the Falcons go out and get a clear-cut number 1, edge rusher in the draft next year or in free agency. But I think you're going to see a big step up from last year going into this year on the defensive side of the football. Now, unfortunately, we could not get the green light to do a watch party for week 1 of the preseason. The minimum for it, 13,000 subscribers. So if we can get to 13,000 subscribers for week 2, we can do a watch party here on Falcons Today. So we need 27 people to subscribe to get us a green light to do a watch party for that second preseason game. My third takeaway from Miami is Desmond Ridder looks solid. I don't know if solid is above good, but below great. Just solid. He made some good plays. He had some not so good plays. That's training camp for you. And it's not even real football, as he said it himself. When you're doing 7-on-7s, those are glorified flag football games, essentially. But Desmond Ridder did throw touchdown passes to Drake London, Cordero Patterson, Bijan Robinson, and his tight end Fitzpatrick. So you saw some good plays from Desmond Ridder. He was not a deer in headlights or anything, but I'd be lying to you guys if I stood here and said Desmond Ridder was perfect. He made no bad throws whatsoever. This guy is can bound. It's a little early to get there, but he definitely had a good 2 days in Miami. Now, Arthur Smith also commented on this. Look at this tweet from Tori McElhaney saying, Arthur Smith said he wants to go back and watch the film of practice, but did note he's really liked Desmond Ridder's decision-making over the last couple of days. And for what the Falcons are going to ask out of Desmond Ridder this year, it is be a good decision-making quarterback. Don't turn the ball over, right? Be smart with the football. Hold on to the football. Let our ground game do the job. And then just, pick up chunks of yards through the air when the time is right. But don't try and go out there and be something that this offense is not, which is throwing the football 35 to 40 times a game and tossing 2 to 3 interceptions. Now, on the offensive side, remember how Miami's offense did not do well in that simulated 2-minute drill? Well, Atlanta's didn't do all that much better. The first play was a first down pass to Mac Hollins. The second play was a simulated sack. Basically, they blew the whistle because they believed he would have been sacked under game circumstances. And the third play was a personal foul kicking penalty. And so Arthur Smith said, enough's enough. Offense, you're off the field. I've seen enough. Defense, you're on the field. So Atlanta's offense didn't do any much better than the Dolphins' offense did, but at least they didn't turn the ball over. All right, my fourth takeaway or fourth note to share, Clark Phillips, the rookie cornerback out of Utah who was carted off the field after the first day of practice. Arthur Smith said, and I quote, he's good. That's Arthur for you right there. So Art giving us some good indications of Clark Phillips not going to miss too much time. I don't think we'll see him in the first preseason game, but hopefully we see him in the second preseason game. Fifth and final note I've got from these 2 days of practice, we have a camp sleeper emerging. So it's the tight end that we talked about a few minutes ago in the show, but John Fitzpatrick, he's been turning some heads so far at training camp. He's been making a lot of good plays for the Atlanta Falcons. He's been having some good connections with Desmond Ridder and Taylor Heineke and Logan Woodside, all three quarterbacks. So if you're looking to sound smart at the bar and someone asks, hey, who's a sleeper for this upcoming season to make their roster, John Fitzpatrick could be the pick for you. When you look at Atlanta's tight end room, Kyle Pitts, Jonnu Smith, Parker Hesse, they added Michael Pruitt, but there's John Fitzpatrick at that number 5 spot. Maybe Fitzpatrick could make some noise and leapfrog someone like Michael Pruitt. I mean, this is also peak preseason chatter where we fall in love, like in Hard Knocks, with the tight end 4 or 5, and then he inevitably gets cut and all that was for nothing. But you never know. You see some guys turn some heads in preseason, make a name for themselves, an injury or two later, and they are on the field in the regular season. But who is your sleeper to make the 53-man roster? Drop a name down in the comment section. Let's see what sleepers you guys can come up with to make that final roster in 3 weeks from now. It's closing up. It'll be here before you know it. To wrap up the show, we've got our draft today. Producer Rolly is still enjoying some PTO. By the way, it's his birthday today. Shame on me. Everyone spam HBD in the comment section right now for Nick Rolly's birthday. But let's get into it. Today's draft topic is NFL road trips. So what teams or what cities you'd want to go on the road to see the Falcons play in? My 1-1 selection, I went with the Las Vegas Raiders. It might not be a fantastic matchup, but if your buddy says, hey, we're going on a road trip this year, where do you want to go? Vegas is always a good answer, and especially if you get to go see it in Allegiant Stadium. So Raiders seem like a great pick to me.
That was kind of the thought process I had there, Petey. Second overall, I went with the Arizona Cardinals. Not a good matchup this week, but that wasn't my thought process going through this draft. Scottsdale, one of the hottest places to hang for people our age these days. So I'm a big fan of that area. Great stadium as well in Arizona. Maybe not the best matchup this year, though.
This next one could be a short drive from Atlanta. I'm going to go up to Nashville and take on the Tennessee Titans. Nashville is an awesome city. If you've done it a couple of times, it might get a little bit stale. But if you've never been before, it's one heck of a weekend. And the Titans' new stadium video just dropped, and it looks pretty awesome. So that would be a lot of fun to go see a game in.
That's a great city, and I went with my second-round pick, Miami. Kind of the Mount Rushmore here of party cities in the NFL.
This is a bachelor trip right here.
Yeah, this is a bachelor trip. All four kind of different areas of the United States, but Miami, party till the sun comes up. Great spot.
So I went away from the bachelor party destinations, and with my third overall selection, I'm going to go with Buffalo. I would love to experience Bills Mafia in person, get some great wings, go watch a game there in Buffalo. I think this would be a lot of fun to go experience an NFL game.
I agree. I've done it before. You're not wrong. Sixth overall, third-round pick for me, the New England Patriots. I think just their history of winning, all the ambiance. People in Boston, New England, they know how to booze and have a good time. Maybe might not be the best place as far as temperature goes, but hey, you have Buffalo, so New England's next on the list.
Seventh overall pick, I'm going to go with Chicago, one of my favorite cities in the country. It's a great spot to go for a weekend. So much to do, so much to see, such great food. You're not going for the stadium or something like that, but it'll be a good matchup, I think, between the Bears and the Falcons. They always play each other close, and Chicago is always a great city to go to.
Absolutely. And my last pick, fourth round, I left it till the end. I might lose you Falcons fans here, but New Orleans is a great time. Great stadium, divisional matchup. What more could you ask for in an NFL road trip?
It's hard to turn down a weekend on Bourbon Street. So let us know who had the better draft down in the comment section, Petey or Smitty. Happy birthday to Rolly, and we will see you guys later.